Ready?
I'm ready.
So let's go.
Okay. Hello, this is Mike Portnoy here, and I'm going to be making some choices. Let's see what we Definitely get rid of the ride. I mean, Lars Ulrich doesn't use a ride. Keith Moon didn't use a ride, so I don't need a ride. I need the toms. Stage, by far. I need people and the interaction and the feedback, and to me it's all about that, you know. When I'm in the studio, it's very tedious, very boring. It takes a long time, you know, and there's no feedback. So yeah, definitely I prefer being on stage. So easy. 70s beats every decade. 70s is the greatest decade of all. Even though I was born in the 60s, and the 60s had the Beatles and the Who and the Stones and Hendrix and the Doors. Love the 60s, but to me, the greatest albums of all time were from the 70s. Yes, all of Yes's classic stuff, Genesis classic stuff, all the classic Pink Floyd albums. You had all the prog rock stuff. Then you had punk rock. You had the Clash, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols. Then you had, there was just great American, stuff like Elton John and the Eagles and stuff like that. Kiss, Deep Purple, Black Sabbath. I mean, it was the greatest decade of all. It's never been beaten, still to this day. And Van Halen, too. That's when Van Halen came around, too. Not the 80s. Van Halen came out in the 70s. That's a good question, because I enjoy both of those roles. I also enjoy collaborator, too. There's leader, collaborator, and guest. I like all three roles. If I had to pick one to just, for now, I'd prefer to be the guest. I think I've been doing this so long, making so many albums on my own. To me, I have more fun just being a hired gun and playing drums like I did with Twisted Sister or Avenged Sevenfold. To me, that's, at this point in my career, more fun. But if I had to make a career decision, I did enjoy being a leader for all those years in Dream Theater. It was very satisfying for me to have that role. So I think if we're talking a long-term career, I'd want to be a leader. But if we're talking about at this stage of my career, I'd rather be the guest. Well, considering I'm already in 3 bands with Billy Sheehan, we have Sons of Apollo, Winery Dogs, PSMS, I guess Amazing Journey makes 4. I guess I'm going to want what I don't have. So, I mean, yeah, to play with Paul McCartney would be maybe the biggest dream of my entire life. I really can't picture a much bigger dream for me. So, as much as I love Billy, and he's my favorite, and he's my favorite bass player to play with, Paul McCartney would be my dream rhythm section for me. Double bass. I prefer double bass. I'm finding myself going back to double bass more. I think, all those years in Dream Theater was never double pedal. It was always double bass or, maybe a double pedal on the single side. But after Dream Theater, I wanted to scale down. So for Winery Dogs, I had the single bass with the double pedal. Transatlantic, Flying Colors, all those bands was single bass with double pedal just because I needed to switch it up. But now, having done that for, many, many years now, I'm enjoying going back to double pedal. Double bass. Even with the Winery Dogs for the second tour, I brought out 2 bass drums. Even now with Neal Morse Band, I'm now using 2 bass drums. Sons of Apollo, I use 2 bass drums. Twisted Sister, 2 bass drums. Shattered Fortress. So I'm finding myself more and more going back to the double bass. I'm going to go out with Winery Dogs in May and go with single bass and double pedal just for that, just to mix it up. But given the choice, I think I like double bass. I will never win either. So I'm not going to ever be eligible for either of those as far as I could see. So I'm going to have to answer that from a fan point of view. I prefer the Oscars because I'm a film fanatic and I love... every year I've always watched the Oscars every year, and a lot of times I agree with the winners. Whereas with the Grammys, I watch the Grammys and I just get fucking furious. I get furious over the lack of rock artists, the lack of metal artists, the lack of respect for the metal and rock artists. They don't even get coverage on TV. It's all pop and rap and hip hop, and it's just frustrating. So for me, it's Oscars. That's a good one. Those are like, if you ask me my two dream bands, if I could fill in for, those would be the two choices. Rush or Metallica. That's tough. That's a tough one. I think I might surprise people with this answer, but I think Metallica. I think because it would be more fun, you know. Playing with Rush would be a challenge. It would be a dream come true. I'd get to really do my chops, but it's just a little too perfect. With Metallica, they change the set list every night. It's fun. It's metal. They're throwing beer around and standing and spitting and sweating and headbanging. So I think it'd be more fun. Metallica. You can't have both? I mean, that's what I try to do. I try to have fun with my job. I think that was, you know, that's where I'm at in my life. I want to only play drums because I'm having fun doing it. I don't want to ever do it because it's a job. As soon as it starts to become a job and it's routine and the same thing with the same people, the same schedule, that's no longer fun. So I have to always have fun with whatever I do. Well, Max, yeah, I always put my children first. I mean, I think some of the, you know, the most, I don't want to say proud, some of the most proudest moments I've had over the last few years are things that he's done, not things that I've done. Like, he just won his first Modern Drummer Reader's Poll Award. And to me, that, like, overshadows any of the awards I won. You know, when he won that, it was like, oh my God, that's like one of the happiest things that I've ever, you know, experienced. And it wasn't even for me, it was for him. So, yeah, I guess at my stage, I'm going to be 52 in a few weeks. I mean, to me, it's more about my kids, not only Max, but my daughter Melody as well. So, yeah. Family first.